Druids, is he going to make that work? No, it doesn't look like it. Just that roof just has a greater acceleration out of there, and Diego has to cover up from Andrew Brown, who was also having a little look. Behind Brown, you've got Sam Reed as well. He's trying to give Andrew just a little bit
losing control of the car on the exit of Druid, so that's the first time we've seen tonight the roof stepping out. Putting the power down, of course, rear-wheel drive, and well, who's that roof going up the inside there? That is Richard Gore. He's now arrived onto the scene, so straight off him battling away with Jay Wright and Kip Stevens, he's now fighting away with these Kia Optimas. Look how close this is. This is definitely a gaggle.
Look at this 9th, 10th and 11th battle as well. Andrew Brown in there trying desperately to get a run on the on who is that ahead of him right now? I think it's Diego and Pete Harrod as well. But he's just stuck. He can't go anywhere at all. So definitely seems to me like the Kias actually do have the advantage through the middle of the corner, some of the quick corners as well. And I think that's where the ballast is hurting the roofs the most. Everywhere else they seem pretty much on par, if not a little bit quicker. But the sort of the high-speed corners, it seems to just lose a little bit of momentum.
So what, this 80 kilos of ballast is definitely helping provide some great racing here between the Roof C-Spec and the Kia Optimas. Two cars that you would never really see racing in the same class. And now we're about to start lap 9. Just over half of the race still to go here. And of course we've got one more after this where...
Yeah, this group just getting closer and closer. Chris Wood again side by side. Going to be able to hold on to this one. Hope it does. Yep, round the outside. No, it's not over with yet. Yes, it is. I'm going to just quickly drop back as well, just so that we can get a bit of action from everybody right now in different positions. So let's take a quick look at Mark Woodhouse. He's just not being able to manage the traffic very well out there right now.
Stuck in a roof sandwich as well. He's got Andrew Brown is stuck in between a Kia sandwich, I should say. He's got Chris Wood behind him and Pete Harrod in front of him. In towards Druids, Matt Bunn trying to look past Roy Ververke, all over the place there. Oh, I don't know if he got a bit of a hit there, did Matt Bunn, from Pete Harrod behind, but he was definitely all over the place on the exit of Druids. As we gained control of the car now, we can try and set sights on the car in front again. Andrew Brown up the inside of Pete Harrod, up the inside of Chris Wood. No, I'm right, it is Pete Harrod. Into 30s. And now we're going to see the straight line speed going in towards Hawthorns, and in front of them we've got more side-by-side action.
It is difficult to tell the difference between the drivers when the liveries are so similar, and it's not easy for Brown. And actually, I tell you what, the Kia looks very, very good on the brakes, and yeah, in the end, Brown just about holds off Pete Harrod, but there's not an awful lot of difference between the speed of these cars, but. Brown loses it just right in front of us.
It was Christopher Sherburn. It was okay because he was already a lap down. But he's now into reverse back off the track.
Yeah, we were on board with Brown. Sorry. There, so I'm not sure.
It's back. Quite. 13 minutes left of racing here. Getting a bit sideways, and in the background, Pete Harrod's now trying to get past a very enthusiastic Andrew Brown. Into Graham Hill Bend they go. Brown on the inside, of course, in that smaller Roof C-Spec. Pete Harrod giving it to him into 30s. He's going to try around the outside. Is he going to try and use the front wheel drive grip? He is, but I think Brown is just going to be clear. Yes, he is. And now it's the turn of Diego Melro to try and get past Harrod going in towards Hawthorns. In front of them, Bunn is now going to try and finally get past Roy Ververke into Hawthorns. Yes, he does. So that's another change for position. And Pete Harrod, the battle continues between him.
Car into these high-speed corners with the slightly less ballast.
And here he comes, Ashley Blakehood. He's coming back up the inside into Westfield Bend. Up the inside he goes, late on the brakes as these Kia Optimas always are, and he's through. So Matt Bunn, after getting ahead to Hawthorns Bend, is now having to see Ashley Blakehood's Kia Optima once again, and it's on the outside going into Sheen Curve. This might allow Roy Ververke to get in the mix, and the other roof of Andrew Brown, who's all of a sudden come out of nowhere. Brown at the inside of Ververke, and that's another position for the roof, side by side, possibly in front. Pete Newman and Michael Hall very close, and Jamie Fluke, who's in second place, is in the pit lane. Second roof is Matt Bunn, who's trying to get past Ashley Blakehood, but look at these four going side by side. Two Kia Optimas battling away. Hall up the inside of Newman into Westfields. This is the battle over now, second place. So two positions on the podium up for grabs now. And now Matt Bunn has got Andrew Brown for company into Sheen Curve. So these two battles are going on, and I think it's going to be Matt Bunn that just gets ahead of Ashley Blake-Cood. However, Blake-Cood will most certainly be back in the next corner or so, as we've seen all night, Alex.
Yeah, Newman and Hall side by side as well, just ahead of this little battle. Newman trying to
side by side now between it's Andrew Brown and Voiva Verke going into Hawthorne's Bend. Brown trying to go around the outside in his roof. That looks like it's not going to work, as this Kia Optima looks to be just a little bit stronger around this part of the track. And Andrew Brown's now going to have to slot into what is now 6th place.
Another one of the roof drivers that looked particularly quick is Brown. Jamie Fluke working his way back up as well, 9th place now. He's going to have a bit of a charge these last few laps. Richard Gore is suffering much like Matt Bunn as well. I think he's got a good pace on there when he's on his own, but in and around the Kias he's just not able to move forward, and seems to be struggling somewhat as Fluke here of that roof should get him clear. It does indeed.
And Ashley Blake-Cood in 4th now, trying to get past Andrew Brown. Brown, I think, has just got past in the last few corners, so Brown now trying to possibly get a podium out of all of this. We've got 4.5 minutes left of racing, and of course we've got one more race after this where we've got a full reverse grid in the Kia Club Series charity race. Matt Bunn on his way back to the pits. He's just coming into the pit lane now. What a shame for him. He was looking very, very high up. Over the line we go. Andrew Brown flashing the lights, and he wants to get past Pete Newman. Over the line we go onto lap 18, and down the inside he goes. See if Newman's going to respond. He's going to try and go back up the inside into Druids, possibly. In the background, one of the cars running wide. I think that was Roy Verke, as Andrew Brown locks up going into Druids.
Yeah, Brown got enough pace, I think. He might even be able to close back up on Michael Hall. You know, we've only got a couple of laps left, but look at the rate he's disappearing. This is the advantage. The roof tyres are staying intact absolutely perfectly, even with this extra ballast. Pierce prior up front still running in the mid 128, so no drop off at all for him, where the Kias really are struggling now. And I think they need an extra like 50 kilos of ballast or something just to even it up. They'll probably be shouting at me right now in the pit walls and things like that, because it's going to make their job all the harder for the reverse grids. But 2 seconds is the gap then from Michael Hall to Brown. Will he be able to close that up in these 2 laps and maybe get P2 overall?
Have you ever raced in a car? For him, he was in 37th place. Onto the final lap then. The gap between Andrew Brown and Michael Hall, 4/10 of a second. And Andrew Brown did a 1:30.1 compared to Michael Hall's 1:30.6. So this is definitely going to be very close, Alex.
Yeah, I think we've seen where the rough is, the roof's got its advantage, and that's coming out of Surtees and down that back straight. So let's just see if he can do it. We're going to have to switch up to Pierce very quickly as well, because he will be coming up to complete this race. He's just round in the final corner actually. So
it's got James Leggett for company there in that Kia Optima, still flashing his lights as Pierce Pryor. Anyway, he's going to come out of the final corner, and he has dominated proceedings in race 1. Pierce Pryor flashes the lights and wins the first race of the Kia Club Series charity event.
Now we
switch our focus to the second. Yes,
side by side as they are going through. This is where are we going through now? Into
Westfield.
Westfield, Dingledale, and then we'll be into Sheen. And looks like Brown's just about got it. Will he be able to hold on? Runs a little bit wide.
And he needs to be careful there, because of course it's rear-wheel drive and a bit of contact's made between them. Around the outside goes Michael Hall. Andrew Brown is going to lose now 2nd place unless he can somehow get it back into clearways, which I don't think he'll be able to do. I wonder if he sustained any damage at all, Andrew Brown. Through the final corner they go then, and then just when it looked like that Andrew Brown had taken 2nd place, Michael Hall's able to do what that Kia Optima does brilliantly and go around the outside. And Michael Hall takes 2nd place. Andrew Brown gets 3rd, 4th. It does go to Pete Newman. 5th is Ashley Blake-Cood. 6th, Roy Verke. 7th is Richard Gore with a whole load of damage. 8th is Diogo Melro. Tristan Bodice in